Imagine this, December 9th, 1965. Night falls across North America. Suddenly, the sky ignites. A massive, brilliant fireball streaks across 6 U.S. states and Ontario, Canada. It's not silent. Sonic booms shattered the quiet, rattling windows and shaking houses. Reports flood in of grass fires starting where debris is thought to have fallen. This isn't just a distant light. It's an event. Then, in the tiny, quiet village of Kecksburg, Pennsylvania, it comes down. A crash landing in the woods just outside of town. What was it? The official story would later say it was a meteor. But the people who saw it first tell a very different story. Locals, drawn by the commotion and the strange glow, were the first to arrive at the crash site. They didn't find a blackened, pitted rock from space. Instead, they described something unbelievable. Partially buried in the muddy earth was a metallic object, shaped like a giant acorn. It was roughly the size of a Volkswagen Beetle, seamless, and made of a strange, bronze-colored metal. But the most bizarre detail was a band of markings around its base. Witnesses who got close enough said it was covered in strange symbols, something that looked like ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics. These weren't random scratches from re-entry. They looked like a form of writing. Think about that for a second. Meteors don't have writing on them. They don't have a distinct, manufactured shape. What on Earth, or perhaps not from Earth, had crashed in those woods? Before anyone could get a good, long look, or maybe even touch it, the scene changed dramatically. The U.S. military descended on Kecksburg. They arrived swiftly, enforced. They weren't there to investigate a meteor. They were there to secure an object. The area was immediately cordoned off. No one was allowed in or out. Eyewitnesses were told to leave and to forget what they saw. The message was clear. This is our business now, not yours. Under the cover of darkness, military personnel worked. Residents reported seeing a large flatbed truck leaving the area, carrying something covered by a tarp. The shape underneath was unmistakable to those who had seen the object in the crater. The acorn was gone, spirited away into the night. And with it, the truth seemed to disappear as well. In the days and weeks that followed, the official explanation began to take shape, but it was anything but consistent. First, it was a meteor, but the witnesses knew that wasn't right. The story then shifted. Officials suggested it might have been a satellite. Specifically, they pointed to Cosmos 96, a failed Soviet Venus probe that was known to have re-entered Earth's atmosphere around that time. This seemed like a plausible explanation, a piece of Cold War space junk. Case closed, right? Not even close. Years later, when documents were released through the Freedom of Information Act, the story only got murkier. NASA records were searched, but the results were inconclusive. Many key documents, the ones that could have shed definitive light on the incident, were reported as lost or missing. How does a government agency just lose all the files on such a high-profile event that involved a multi-state military operation? It's a question that has fueled speculation for decades. Let's look at the Cosmos 96 theory again. While it re-entered the atmosphere on the right day, calculations of its trajectory showed it would have likely landed hundreds, if not thousands, of miles away from Pennsylvania. Furthermore, the description of Cosmos 96 doesn't match what witnesses saw. The Soviet probe was a complex piece of machinery with antennas and panels. The Kecksburg object was described as a smooth, seamless, acorn-shaped craft with hieroglyphics. The two just don't line up. So, if it wasn't a meteor, and probably not a Soviet satellite, what was it? This is where the theories really take flight. The most popular and enduring one is, of course, that it was extraterrestrial, an alien craft that suffered a malfunction and crashed. The acorn shape, the strange metal, the hieroglyphic markings, it all sounds like something straight out of science fiction. Could Kecksburg have been a Roswell of the East Coast? A genuine close encounter that the government successfully covered up? Then, there's another, more terrestrial but equally fascinating theory. Die Glock, or the bell. This is a fringe theory rooted in post-World War II legends. It suggests that Nazi scientists were working on a revolutionary bell-shaped anti-gravity device. The story goes that at the end of the war, top Nazi scientists and their technology, including the bell, were secretly brought to the United States under programs like Operation Paperclip. Could the Kecksburg object have been a top-secret test flight of this advanced, and now American, technology? A craft that went wrong and accidentally revealed itself to the public? The acorn shape is certainly reminiscent of a bell. The debate rages on. Was it a Soviet spy craft, more advanced than we were told? A secret American experimental vehicle? Or visitors from another world? Each theory has its believers and its skeptics. The government's handling of the situation in the quick seizure, the changing stories, the lost 5 size, the fuel that keeps this fire burning. It suggests that whatever crashed in those woods, it was something they did not want the public to know about. For the people of Kecksburg, this is more than just a story. It's a part of their local history, a mystery embedded in their community. Many of the original witnesses have since passed away, but their stories have been passed down. They remain adamant about what they saw, a manufactured object, not from around here, with strange symbols taken away by the military. Today, nearly 60 years later, we are no closer to the official truth. The Kecksburg Incident remains one of the most compelling and well-documented UFO cases in history. It's a perfect storm of credible eyewitness testimony, physical evidence that was seen and then vanished, and a classic government cover-up narrative. It forces us to ask a fundamental question. What else are we not being told? What other secrets are locked away in those lost files? The mystery of the Kecksburg acorn is a reminder that sometimes the most incredible stories are the ones that happen in small, blurred, and ordinary towns, and that the truth can be far stranger than fiction. What do you think crashed in the woods of Pennsylvania all those years ago? Let me know your theories in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoy unraveling mysteries like this one, be sure to subscribe for more.